Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you about flying monkeys. This is a term that you might have heard when you started researching this whole narcissist business, but I will get into what a flying monkey is, how the narcissist uses them, and what you can do about that situation. And I will also share with you my personal experiences with flying monkeys and what it meant for me in my recovery and healing from this toxic, abusive relationship. So to start, what a flying monkey is, it's anyone that the narcissist is able to rope into the situation and have them do their sort of abuse by proxy. So you might have gone no contact with the narcissist, or you're starting to heal and back away from them, and they notice that and they need to maintain control. So they're trying to rope in people around you so that you either are convinced to return to them, that they spin the story to make it look like they're the victim, or they just use it as another outlet to hurt you, damage you, cause harm to you, and continue the abuse even when you are not directly contacting them or in contact with them. So the term came from the Wizard of Oz, and if you want to go into the history of it and everything, then you can, but in this video we're just going to talk about where the narcissists will find their flying monkeys, how they use them, and what you can do about it. Okay, so the biggest one that your narcissist might try to use is family or friends. So if you have, which is my case, kept the secret of the narcissist for all the years that you were together, I personally felt like any marital problems that we were having needed to be worked out between he and I, because I respected the boundaries of marriage and I really wanted things to work. So I didn't want to bring in outside opinions and outside voices from my family and friends, while I still thought the marriage was viable, while I still thought this was a healthy, thriving relationship that just had a few bumps in the road that we could fix. So the abuse went on in silence for years, and narcissists thrive in that silence. They thrive in being undercover. They thrive in having an image outside of the home that is picture perfect, and inside the home they're able to abuse you, use you, and do a whole bunch of damage without anyone having any idea about it, because you're keeping the secret. So because I kept the secrets, many secrets over the years, when I finally went no contact with my narcissist, he immediately went to find flying monkeys. Because I had been studying narcissism and understood the tactics of the narcissist, it didn't come as a surprise to me. I wasn't thrown off, but what comes next was a bit throwing off. So I had first gone to my sister, and she was sympathetic at the beginning, and then as time went on, she actually jumped on the bandwagon of the narcissist and was trying to convince me to stay, saying that my life is actually not that bad, that there are two sides to every story. And then I started to realize that this wasn't a relationship where I was getting support and a soft landing space for this abuse, that she was actually defending the abuse and sticking up for him. So what really hit the fan, so at that point I knew that they were in contact and communication. So if you're starting to see that other people around you are not as supportive, or sort of giving you pushback on the abuse that you're disclosing to them, or trying to convince you that your life is not that difficult or bad, this could either be a really toxic person themselves, which my sister is, could also be another narcissist, because so this could also be another narcissist, or it could be that this is a flying monkey, that the narcissist has gotten to this person already and started to plant little seeds about the cause of the breakup and how good they are and all the things that they've done for you, which is a favorite tactic of the narcissist. So my sister, after dropping all those little hints, I felt like I kept on having to explain why it was important for me to get away from him and justify it and come up with like more and more proving evidence of the abuse because she just couldn't quite grasp it or understand it or accept it or help me get out of it. So I spent a lot of time and energy working on trying to convince her to help me get out of the abuse, while he was on the other side doing counter work to try and convince her that we needed to stay together and that he was trying to do everything he could to keep us as a family. So what hit the fan, and when I finally went no contact with this flying monkey, my sister, was when I got a text message from her after like 2 weeks of not hearing from her, and she was like, hey, just want to check in. So when I replied, I just told her the struggles that we were having, and she replied saying that her and my ex had talked and that the $10,000 that he owes her, that he and her had talked, and that they had decided that the best thing was for her to sue me for that money because he wasn't going to pay her back. Financial abuse is a real thing. Financial abuse in a narcissistic relationship happens all the time. And this is just one other example of financial abuse. He had an obligation to pay her. And I mean, these narcissists are master manipulators. Like this is a honed in skill, an art, a craft, a full-time job that they spend every day, all day long, manipulating people. So he was able to manipulate and twist her mind to sue me for the money as opposed to paying it back herself. It's crazy. So at that very moment, I wrote her a message back. I let her know that when she should have stood for me, she stood against me, and that was not okay. And I no longer wanted to speak to her. And I immediately blocked her, and I moved forward with my life. And it was a really, really good decision. Anyways, I'll continue on to other flying monkeys. So when the narcissist left, he left us with very little money, and he refused to pay any support at all, which is another tactic of the narcissist. They try and circle you like a shark and squeeze you in until you have no other options but to return to them on your knees. He contacted my aunt and told her how I spend money, and I'm a wild spender, which is not true. And she bought it hook, line, and sinker, and she was so upset with me. She cut me off from helping us financially. This is pure and utter evil. Like, to know that your children are going to suffer because of your ego and having to have everything your way. It didn't matter. He didn't care that his kids couldn't eat or anything. The important thing was that I was suffering in the midst of all of this. So he got my aunt as a flying monkey as well to give me a full dressing down about how I spend money, and all of it were lies. The narcissist thrives on chaos, lies, deception, manipulation. Like, all of that stuff is well in their wheelhouse. They are skilled and masters at it. So don't be surprised if that happens when you try and go no contact with the narcissist. The next I'll say is another flying monkey that I experienced in this process was my own mother. So he went to her and convinced her that I'm keeping the children from him, which is not true. And the thing is, when you know what you're doing is right and you know what you're doing is true and honest, you can hold your head high. And I have all the emails and text messages and everything as proof. And so I hold my head very high, and I know that what I'm doing, escaping this abuse, is the right thing. He went to my mother, convinced her that I was keeping the children from him, which is not true. And she got angry with me. She started to yell and scream and everything. And then I knew I had to cut her off as well. So in a very short amount of time, the flying monkeys that he had gone to, I cut all of them off. My mom, my sister, and my aunt. I had to go no contact with all of them, because once that trust is broken, once they're no longer on your side, defending you, standing for you, protecting you, they will take anything that you say or do back to the narcissist, and he will use, or she will use, that as ammunition to continue to harm and abuse you. Plus, the narcissist will manipulate and and lie to make you look like the bad person, and have the flying monkeys constantly abuse and berate and demoralize you for the things that you know you're doing right. You don't need that when you're escaping abuse. When you're escaping abuse, you need people around you that are supporting you, that love you, that have your back, that will help you to get stronger so that you can get away from the abuse. No one deserves to be abused. So those were the flying monkeys. He tried it on friends as well. He called up my friends' husbands, and he asked them not to tell their wives that he was contacting them. And he tried to get them on their side. But God is good, and I have amazing friends. They shut it down. They said, no, I'm sorry. Like, the best way I know how to support you guys is to stay out of this, which is a boundary in saying, no, I'm not going to hear your side. I'm not going to participate in your games. I'm not going to allow you to try and convince me. I know what I know, and that's the end of it. And so my friends stood firm for me. They stood with me, and he went. So just like the devil, if you shun them, they will flee, but you cannot leave even a small open door when the narcissist comes knocking with these flying monkeys. If they leave a sliver of a door open to hear the narcissist, he will, like the devil, take up residence and distort the truth and impact your healing and your recovery. So if you have friends and family that stand firmly against the abuse, those are people that you need to share things with. If you have people that are on the fence, wavering, or willing to hear the narcissist out or taking his side, cut them off immediately, because they will only cause you more harm and more damage and self-doubt and fear as you try to get away from the abuse and heal. So this also happened at our church. He tried to go to members of the church, to our former pastor, to different people that worked at the church to convince them of something about me. They also did not take the bait, and they refused to become a flying monkey for him. And so those doors were sealed and shut and became a safe haven for my children and I to escape the abuse. This is not okay. And narcissists don't have any boundaries. They don't care. They have a mission, and they want to destroy your light, and they will do whatever they can to do it, especially use flying monkeys. So you're wondering how they do it. I know you are. I was too. So they are master manipulators, like I keep saying. They have practiced this art and this skill forever. We are not like that. We're normal, healthy human beings that cannot imagine trying to destroy another person's character, reputation, family, any of it. So don't try to understand, but just on the surface level, know that they're going to go to your family from an angle of, oh, I'm just so worried about this person. You know, I haven't talked to you about these things before, but I need to let you know that she's not, you know, been very good with finances, or, you know, she's keeping the children from me, and all I want to do is see my family and be with my children. And they will twist the story, even if it's the furthest thing from the truth, to try and garner support with your family, because they know that if you are protected and surrounded by people that love you and know you and are with you, that it's harder for them to get at you. It's always easier for a wolf to get a lone sheep, isn't it? So that's what they're trying to do. With your friends, they're going to try and sneak in there and say things like, I appreciate your friendship, and I just want to let you know my side of the situation. I'm sure you've heard a lot of things, and I just want to share with you my side because I appreciate you so much as a friend, which is furthest from the truth. Oftentimes, these people don't invest any time or energy in your social circles until they need them as a flying monkey. And I noticed that. He took phone numbers for all my friends' husbands, never reached out to them, never went to visit them, never had any sort of social interactions, even when we were all going out together. But the minute that our relationship broke down, that is when he pulled out those phone numbers. So he had been planning to use them as flying monkeys for a very long time. So what do you have to do? What now? So now you can recognize what a flying monkey is, how the narcissist brings them over to their side and what the purpose of it is. So what do? You have to go no contact. If the person is willing to hear your narcissist's side, you have to go no contact. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Is it hard? Maybe. For me, it wasn't hard. In fact, those were very toxic relationships that I had, and perhaps even a reason why the narcissist targeted me in the beginning, because he knew that my family relationships were not the greatest and that these people probably wouldn't stand for me and would allow this abuse to continue. So he targeted me perhaps for those reasons. So letting those people go and not having to justify or explain why I needed to get away from the abuse, and not having that toxic dynamic constantly every day playing on me, feeling like I was begging for help as opposed to just getting support, has actually been the most healing thing that I could do. I released the narcissist, I released those toxic family relationships and family members, and I am only engaging with people that are healthy, strong, have positive outlooks, and are healthy in their interactions. And that has just been such a wonderful, peaceful choice in my life, and I would never take it back. So if you are afraid to let go of the narcissist flying monkeys, don't fear, because there is so much peace and so much healing on the other side. You really don't need them. It doesn't matter how many of them there are. It doesn't matter how deep you think that relationship is. It really isn't if they are easily convinced by the narcissist that you are a bad person or that you deserve the abuse that you're getting. Let them go. I promise you, it's worth it. If you found this video helpful, I would love to have you here on this channel where I share more of my story, where I try to help people get out of narcissistic abuse and find healing and happiness on the other side. I also do one-to-one coaching, so you can find my email in the description box below, and I would love to work with you and create a plan and a strategy to get you on the other side of this abuse. And I think that's all there is for today. I would love to start making Fridays a day of lives where I sit with you guys and answer questions and just have a really good space where we can all be together and know that there are other people out there and that we have each other's backs and support. So if you're interested in that, just throw it in the comment section below, yes. And if I have enough interest, then I will get that started even next Friday. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you again next time. Bye.